I'd like you to think a minute for why your students take online classes. Stop for a moment and consider. You can hit the pause button and then you can hit play after you've given it a little thought. Hopefully you came to some of these conclusions. Usually students who take online classes are too busy to get to campus. They have work and family obligations and just can't really fit it into their schedules. They may work unusual shifts, like the military who come and go, or firefighters who have 24-hour shifts, for example. A lot of students now are taking courses that are online because they don't fit into their regular schedule during the day of their face-to-face classes. They float them over the top of their other courses. Many students can't get to campus. They either live too far away and need a course at your college, and I could see that with some of the disciplines that you have in this class, or they have a lack of transportation or they're ill. Often, high school students will take your classes online because they are intimidated by coming to a college to take a course that they really want. Some students prefer the online environment, but not too many at the beginning. After a while, they get used to it and they really like it, but brand new online students are there usually because of convenience. And that has some major implications for designing your course. Such as if you have a lot of synchronous limitations in your class, in other words, you're requiring them to be somewhere at a particular place and time, you may have a little problem with offering your course as an online. We call that a virtual hybrid, and it's really good to, if you're going to do that, to let students know before they register what dates and what times you're going to expect them to be somewhere, and that includes tests. You can provide proctoring options for students that don't include making them come to your campus. I can give you more information about that, just let me know. You need to create schedules that are clear and don't change and are easy to find, because students will plan their life around finishing the work in your course, or at least you hope they will. You also want to provide access to assistance of all kinds, even when you're not there. A good idea, by the way, is to have things due at times when you're available online. If that's Friday evening, that's a good time. If it's Wednesday afternoon and you know that you're in your office, that's a good time. Midnight on Sunday is not a good time because no one is online to help students who are having problems. You should make sure that they have access to any help desk you might have and to Blackboard on Demand. You also want to be streamlined in your processes and really clear about your organization. If your course is highly organized, that will help students and save them time and allow them to complete successfully. It's a big part of their success, your organization. Establish reasonable deadlines. You might want to have windows for tests, for example, rather than a test is only taken from 7 at night until 10 at night on a Tuesday. And that may help your learning center as well if you're making them come into your learning center to take tests or offering that option. So be sure that you give reasonable deadlines with some windows for when those things are due. Another issue is the way that students consider college work. I asked the question of my son and his friends once whether college work was more time consuming than high school work, and they said no. And when I asked him why, I didn't understand. It was because they were talking about the activities they did as work. If I had said, is the study and work time in college longer than in high school, they would say yes. So they're separating out study from work, and I think that's something that we have a tendency to do in online classes as well, and they're not. They're the same. Studying and work in an online class is the same. So mentioning homework might be confusing. If you say you have 3 hours of class time and 3 hours of homework, it's really kind of confusing to an online student because some of them take longer in the online components than the reading, for example. And they won't get that it's total time of 10 hours a week for a course rather than 5 hours here doing one thing and 5 hours doing something else. If you just give them the total time, I think that works out pretty well. And don't refer to things as homework. They're things that you will learn, things that you will do, and the way that you'll do them is different. You might read, you might see a video, you might do an activity. There are issues about time online for a variety of reasons. There are drawbacks regarding due dates, and you have to be careful about it. But there's also some benefits in that students can review things over and over again, which is really great. And you can provide yourself with some time too, time off and time to consider and time to go back. What's your goal for your students? The reason I don't have firm due dates in this class, as firm as I probably should, is because my goal for you is that you're comfortable and that you learn how to teach online. You're not getting this for a grade on a transcript. You're doing this because you want to. And I want to make sure that that's a comfortable and enjoyable and workable experience for you so that you're successful online teachers. I wouldn't do that with my college students, but it's easier with you guys. Okay. So with that, I'm going to go back to my announcement, and I hope that this has helped you just a little bit.